Hello guys! Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome everyone to Mando Monday. This is the series where you guys ask the questions and I, of course, answer them. This can be to do with anything related to Counter-Strike Global Offensive, CSGO investing, future CSGO updates, maybe something like Star Wars, because I don't mind that myself right now. And of course, if you guys have a question for next week's video that you want possibly answered, leave it down in the comment section of this video or any video in general. Of course, saying ask Mando and then ask your question. It's usually easiest for me to find that, but if you don't, that's perfectly fine as well. And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that like button and of course subscribe. Follow our Twitch where we stream weekly Counter-Strike Global Offensive content. And before we hop into the questions and commentary for this week specifically, here's a quick word from our video sponsor, Skinport. Now today's video sponsor is of course Skinport. Skinport is currently the biggest, most secure buying and selling marketplace for Counter-Strike Global Offensive skins in North America and Europe. It's currently trusted by 10,000 people and some more who gave it a 4.9 to a 5-star rating on a place like Trustpilot. Buying skins is very easy and is great with discounts up to 30% and of course over 420,000 options to choose from. In those instances where you want to buy something, for an example, you're going to run into examples of something like this. The Bayonet Doppler currently listed on the Steam market for $507. Skinport is offering for $382 USD, of course. That's a 29% off discount compared to what it has on the Steam market. Checking out whether you're buying or selling skins is easy, fast, and secure. With selling, of course, it goes to your bank directly via bank transfer with no hidden fees whatsoever, which is very, very nice. If you guys are interested in selling some of your skins or picking up some new flashy ones, make sure to check them out in the top of the link in the description below. So the first question up here is from Bart, and he says, ask Mando, will you be streaming on Twitch anytime soon? And yes, my friend. This past few weeks, I've had a lot going on. If you guys are unfamiliar with my other channels that I run a Lego channel, which I'm trying to kind of branch out more of just on YouTube in general, which it's pretty successful, I would say, which I'm very happy about. Something I'm very passionate about as well. So I'm trying to dedicate my time to this channel specifically, the Lego channel, and I'm also making a trailer later this week, most likely the day after watching this video, about my Twitch, kind of like a mini promotional thing for it, which is going to be very, very exciting. And if you guys need a reasoning and you guys are wondering why I'm kind of transitioning to streaming on Twitch a little more possibly than I'm making YouTube videos, there's a whole thing going on right now with CSGO YouTubers and just YouTube in general. It's very hard to make money on the platform. And with some other controversies right now, I find it best for me to branch out a little more, which I think would benefit me and a lot of other people as well. So very, very soon, most likely we're going to start out 3 times a week, maybe go to 5. And on top of that, this past week for update wise in CS has been absolutely crazy. There's been a lot of stuff where I thought it was going to come, but until we actually saw it, obviously I couldn't really say much. And that of course is the new case that just got released called the recoil case. Now, this case, a lot of people right off the bat are extremely underwhelmed by, but that's not really the main point. A lot of people thought the clutch case or something like the fracture case was going to get removed instead of the Prisma case that actually got removed right now. In the video I talked about yesterday, how the Prisma 2 getting removed didn't really make a whole lot of sense from a profit point of view from Valve because it was unboxed a lot more than a lot of the other cases in the active duty drop pool at the time. And I think right away that squashes the entire possibility of an operation coming out very soon because, and right now you have to look at it from this point of view. Valve just released a new case. We still have the Antwerp stickers on sale. And we're also getting a capsule CS10 case, so 10th anniversary of Counter-Strike Global Offensive in August. And with all the Source 2 rumors, apparently Source 2 is most likely going to be brought to us in August of 2022, which is very exciting. I still kind of stand by that. Maybe they might delay it a little while and release it with an operation, possibly after the Rio Major. And then right after the CS20 anniversary case, we're going to have kind of a down period in time where Source 2 could get released, which bring probably a lot of content, especially for content creators like myself. And then we're going to, of course, receive the Rio Major, which I think that's going to be a really fun video to make, kind of talking about and speculating about those stickers and how if those stickers look like Antwerp and Stockholm, I think we could be in a lot of trouble, but it could also be very interesting if they're not, of course. So yeah, an operation I think is completely off of the table because there's not really a whole lot of room considering it lasts 2 to 3 months long. It just wouldn't really make any sense. So I think maybe an early 2023 release date or a late 2022 after the Rio Major release date for an operation is very, very possible. Now our next question up here is of course from Porsche, and he says, do you think the fracture case will go up because it has no new fracture knives, of course. And this guy, what he's saying is, since the new case, the recoil case came out, and it obviously has snake bite and broken fang gloves, since there's no fracture case knives in it, and since the fracture case knives are so limited already to shatter, web, and fracture, fracture cases are pretty cheap right now. They haven't gone up whatsoever, really. I don't really think they're in a whole lot of demand. I think when they will be in demand is, I think, possibly the next big case that comes out, specifically with an operation, hopefully, if that comes out later this year or early 2023. We will see a new case, and that, of course, will contain the new lineup of fracture case knives. And then I think the fracture case will get removed in the non-primary drop pool, which will be very, very interesting. But for right now, I don't really think that case is going to go up a whole lot just because the demand is not really there. It was unboxed 700,000 or 800,000 less than the actual Prisma 2 case, which is why it was actually so confusing that thing got removed. And with it being unboxed less, I don't really think it's going to go up anytime soon. Now, our next question up here is, of course, from Primal, and he says, the problem with CSGO that has became stale and a boring game. It's become more of a farm game like MOBOs. I think when Valve updates the engine and makes new changes to make it any better, right now, most people are just playing to farm, not really enjoying the actual core gameplay. So what this guy's relating this to is, of course, Source 2, and I can kind of agree to that extent, but I feel like it's not for everybody. Everyone, I feel like throughout the year when they play CSGO, and for people that like me, for example, who have played CS for almost a decade, we have downtimes, right? There's downtimes throughout the year, especially as a content creator, where I'm not going to play CS for 3 or 4 months. I'm going to go play something like Fortnite after making a couple videos, zero build for an example, just because CS is not that fun during that point in the year. I feel like everyone, just as a casual CS player too, has that kind of feeling where CS isn't that fun. And maybe you're kind of experiencing the same problem. And I think hopefully when a new engine comes out, what I'm imagining is Valve is probably going to push this out with an operation whenever this does come. So if it doesn't come in August, we're going to get it after the Rio Major, and it's going to push out with an operation. It's going to be great for content creators, and it's going to be great for CS in general. And with the movement changing, most likely with Source 2, how that's been leaked recently, I think the game could be a lot more fun and interesting for a lot of people in the next couple of years whenever this does happen. Like I said earlier, I think it's going to bring a lot of old players, but also new players to the game, and that's going to create a lot of good attention for the game just in general. So I feel like this right now is kind of just personal opinion based. And I think everyone in the comment section of this video, at least if you've played CS the past few years, you understand what this guy's saying and kind of get what I'm feeling as well during some points in the year. Our next question up here is, of course, from ZC Allen. And he says, the Luminosity Columbus Holo is going to the moon, and actually it quite is. And I think this has a lot to do with the new case releasing, obviously being the recoil case. With the new AK being introduced, certain individual stickers, just like any other case that's getting released, if it matches a certain pattern of a weapon like this, it's going to go up quite a bit. And this has recently doubled up in price, going from about $20 to around $40 on a place like Buff, and over $60 on a place like the Steam Market and other third-party websites over here in North America and Europe. And right now, people are asking in the comments of this question as well on YouTube if you should buy into a hype like this. And right away, absolutely not. The hype like this from these kind of stickers mostly die down after the course of a week. It's mostly just FOMO, and of course, a kind of miniature fake hype. It's not a fake hype, it's obviously real, but over the course of the next few weeks, and of course when we get introduced to new skins, better skins in the future, people are just going to shy this away. People are not going to care about it. But if you have them, I would maybe consider holding for the next few days to see how they do, and if they go down a little bit more, maybe that's a good indicator that you should sell. Now, our next comment and question up here from Sukamatic. That's what we're going to call you, my man. I bought 1,000 Imperial paper stickers for 9 cents on Buff since they look pretty decent and the lowest supply on the market. And someone else currently followed up with a question, or more so a comment to this comment on YouTube, and he says, paper stickers don't make any money. And then this guy replied to that guy saying, bro, they even make more money than HOLOS. Look at the Entropic paper sticker from Stockholm. It was 5 cents during the sale, and it went up to 30 to 40 cents later on. So it seems like a lot of people like this question and just comment section overall of last week's video, and this is pretty interesting, but I have some things to say about it, and not to crush people's dreams, but paper stickers every year are usually the worst investment, because when people open capsules in the future, so Antwerp right now, they're 25 cents. Let's just say in the next few weeks when they get removed, hopefully they shoot up to 40 and 50 cents. People are still going to buy these capsules, and the majority of the time they're going to get a paper sticker rather than anything else. It's the most common thing to get in a capsule. And the difference between something like Antwerp and of course from Stockholm, when he related this to that, was Stockholm is so low in quantity. It's extremely low. So the capsules right now are very limited. So when you unbox something, sure, it's going to be a little more expensive. We have a very short and limited supply of the capsules just in general. But for something like Antwerp, paper stickers are not really going to be of any value really, because there's so many of them on the market, if that makes any sense. Now our next question and comment up here from James Negan, and he says, Prisma 2 case, go buy. And I'm actually going to have to respectfully disagree with you, my man. Right now, the Prisma 2 case is extremely FOMO'd right now. Just like any other case that gets removed, it goes from 3 or 4 cents, especially if it's a newer case, I'd say in the past 2 or 3 years in CS. They just haven't really been popular. And a lot of this is to do with the just overall supply of these cases. Since more people have played CS, since more people are talking about and seeing investments rise quite a bit for CSGO, people are stocking up and farming these type of cases all of the time. So something like the Prisma 2 is heavily oversupplied, and recently it hasn't gone over 10 cents, which is a huge indicator maybe to not buy into that whatsoever. And if you did buy in early, that's perfectly fine. It's not my type of profit in CS. I don't like buying up 1,000 cases, for an example, of something like the Danger Zone when that got removed for 3 and 4 cents on the Steam market. It just wasn't really worth it for me when you can flip it for 15 cents. And at the end of the day, you're making 7 to 8 cents after Steam taxes. It's just not really worth it having to accept all those confirmations on your phone when you could just buy a higher valued item when it's cheaper and just make a lot more profit with a very short and limited amount of cases, for an example, so it's easier on you. And on top of that, the Prisma 2 really isn't that desired overall, sadly. And our next comment up here is from James Negan once again, and he says Antwerp is RMR 2.0. And I hate to call this guy out, man. I really appreciate you commenting on all my videos. I see you comment on all my videos, and I agree with most of your comments most of the time, as well as your questions. But this is a weird one. RMR is equaling Antwerp. Antwerp is RMR 2.0. And this has been up for discussion and up for debate for a year, I feel like, at this point in time. Ever since Stockholm happened, people automatically started to assume that the next major was going to end up like RMR 2.0. And right off the bat, it's not as bad as RMR for lots of different reasons. One, the stickers look 10 times, maybe 20 times better than they did in RMR. On top of that, they're actually getting applied to weapon skins, which is a huge factor when talking about an investment. And of course, they're very loved, which is another huge thing to factor into this when it's saying it's going to end up like RMR. When RMR wasn't really loved overall, just a lot of people bought the stickers because there wasn't anything to buy on the Steam store for over 6 months, it felt like. And on top of that, the supply of these things, sure, are extremely high, but like I've talked about earlier, it's going to be harder to unbox the stickers we really enjoy, especially in something like the autograph capsules, because there are so many. So we're going to go through more capsules at the end of the day, and that's going to dwindle the quantity on the market. And as long as the actual demand for these capsules and stickers are still there in the next few months, there's no reason for them to really go down in price anytime soon. Now, our next question up here is, of course, from Circles, and he says, something that never made any sense to me is why Stockholm capsules prices dropped. If it's 5 times easier to get a holo through Stockholm capsules than Antwerp capsules because the probability of it is rarity, wouldn't it make more sense for Stockholm capsules to be open more than Antwerp because it would be cheaper? So I kind of understand what you're getting with this question, but there's a huge difference between Antwerp and Stockholm holos. One of them is, of course, the size. The size difference is a big thing for me personally, especially when wanting to craft on a weapon skin in CS. Antwerp stickers, for the most part, like Copenhagen Flames, is 10% or a little more smaller than Stockholm specifically. But the big thing is here, the rarity is a lot higher in Antwerp. And on top of that, the demand for the Antwerp holos is a lot higher for something like Stockholm, for an example. Stockholm holos, it has a few really good stickers, but overall, there's very similar stickers, for an example, in Antwerp for a very small amount of the exact same price. Unless you're going into a sticker that was specifically just for Stockholm, like the Pain Gaming, Virtus Pro, the Mouse Holo, the Entropic sticker, which even then, that's kind of weird because you have the Imperial in Antwerp 2022 and it looks almost the exact same. You're kind of getting at a niche market. And on top of that, the supply and just overall demand for those stickers is a lot less than what we have in Antwerp right now, because Antwerp is the main thing. It's what everyone's looking at. So in theory, yes, it would be more profitable to open Stockholm capsules, but at the same time, you're already having a huge buy-in at $1.50 for a Challenger's capsule and almost $1 for the contenders and whatnot. And the stickers in the cheaper capsules aren't really very profitable at this point in time because they're pretty much 1-for-1 copy and paste. Like the Navi sticker in Stockholm and Antwerp is pretty much the exact same thing. So in theory, yes, but there's a lot of things to play into this when kind of comparing the two in that sense. You have Stockholm, that's a higher buy-in, but the stickers, you have to get a certain specific sticker for you to actually sell it and make a decent profit, especially to sell it at a decent point in time without waiting a little while, versus something like Antwerp. The holos are a lot more rare, for an example. They're 5 times more rare, but they're also a lot more in demand. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode of Mando Monday. If you did, please comment, like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, link down in the description below. If you guys haven't already, make sure you check out my Twitch channel. We stream weekly Counter-Strike Global Offensive content. Once again, a trailer will be coming for that later this week, which I'm very excited about. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.